Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we'll be talking about the top 12 NFL head coaches heading into 2025. This on another episode of So number 12, we have DeMeco Ryans. Now, DeMeco Ryans has done a great job in Houston so far, getting CJ Stroud ready to go on a true Super Bowl run. And I think he's had a lot of success early in CJ Stroud's career. The one problem with DeMeco Ryans is that he has only been the head coach there for 2 years, and we don't know how good he will be over a longer time period. So while he has had 2 10-win seasons so far, will he continue to be that good heading into the future? And while he has won 2 playoff games, he's also been bounced both times in the divisional round. So we don't yet know how good he truly is a head coach, but based on his current success, he has to be number 12. At number 11, we have Kevin O'Connell. Now, Kevin O'Connell has done a great job in Minnesota over the 3 seasons he's been there. And as a Rams fan, I can't believe he's been gone that long. I think it's been an interesting 3 years for him because he's made the playoff berth twice with 2 13-win-plus seasons, while in the between of those two, he had a 7-win season. But I can understand why, because of the quarterbacks he was dealing with. He went from Kirk Cousins to Kirk Cousins getting hurt, to Josh Jacobs, and then this past year he's had Sam Darnold. So he's had to work with a variety of quarterbacks, and honestly, I think that proves how good of a head coach he has the potential to be, because he made the playoffs with Kirk Cousins and then Sam Darnold, and that is impressive in itself. The only thing holding him back from being higher on this list is because immediately upon reaching the playoffs both times, he immediately got bounced. And so number 10, we have Sean Payton. Now, Sean Payton has done a great job throughout his career. He first was, of course, with the New Orleans Saints for many years, and now he's come to the Broncos. I think he did a great job since coming to the Broncos of reforming that organization and getting that team ready to make a deep playoff run. He started out with Russell Wilson. Of course, he didn't like him, so he got rid of him and brought in Bo Nix. And I think you see how good of a coach he is in Bo Nix's rookie season, because he helped him work through the issues, because he helped him build up and become a very good starter for the Denver Broncos that led them into the playoffs. Yes, they lost to the Bills in bad fashion, but I think all the pieces are there for him to build that team up even more as it heads into 2025. So number 9, we have Sean McDermott. Now, Sean McDermott, if it's based on purely the regular season, is an amazing head coach. Now, part of it's also Josh Allen, but the Bills have been very, very good since his tenure started during the regular season. They've won majority of the games of each season with Sean McDermott at the helm. Now, the only reason he's down here is one, because I think a lot of the head coaches ahead of him are more talented, but 2, because it's of his postseason success. He has consistently been beaten by Andy Reid every time he runs into him in the postseason. And unfortunately, until he learns how to beat Andy Reid's team, he's going to be down here, because you need to be able to beat someone like Andy Reid, at least show you can. You don't need to do it consistently, but show that you can, to prove that you are able to outcoach him. And until that happens, he's number 10. Speaking of a playoff choker, at number 8, we have Kyle Shanahan. Now, Kyle Shanahan has had a lot of great runs with the 49ers, and being able to work with the variety of talents he's had to deal with, I think really shows how good of a head coach he is. But sort of like Sean McDermott, when you get to the postseason, Kyle Shanahan is somewhere along the way losing in embarrassing fashion. A few years back, he lost to the Rams in the championship game. Then he lost to the Chiefs the year prior to that. Then he lost to the Eagles in the NFC championship game. And last year, 2 years ago now, he lost to the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. Honestly, he gets them to the playoffs, and he gets them through a good portion of the playoffs, which, when he's there, that proves how good of a head coach he is. But at the same time, he's not truly elite, because he always loses the big game whenever he runs into a team that can truly oppose him. So number 7, we have Matt LaFleur. Now, Matt LaFleur, like the previous head coaches I've mentioned, is a very good head coach during the regular season and will get his team consistently to the postseason. However, in the postseason, he always finds a way to lose in somewhat embarrassing fashion. And with that being said, he's a very good head coach. He managed the Packers' final years of Aaron Rodgers, then went straight into training up Jordan Love and getting them right back to the postseason in record time. But in the postseason, he tends to lose when he runs into a serious team, sort of like Kyle Shanahan in that sense, where as soon as either of them run into a serious opponent, they fall apart. And that's why he's around the same tier as the other guys who consistently lose when they run into a serious playoff team. So number 6, we have Mike Tomlin. Now, Mike Tomlin is a very good coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but like the people before him, he has that problem of losing in the playoffs. But I think with him, it's a little different. I think Mike Tomlin's a very good coach, and he get the best out of anyone on his team. The issue is that his continued success and the lack of Steelers having high draft picks or bring in very big-name free agents has caused the team to become very devoid of talent on the offensive side of the ball, which means that for Mike Tomlin, a defensive-minded coach, he can keep that defense really good because he gets the best out of his players and always makes them be one of the best units in football. But because of the lack of talent on offense, he is getting a badly built roster to perform better than what it should. Because realistically, the Steelers teams that have been assembled in the last few years should probably not have made the playoffs, but he's gotten them there anyway. And then the only reason they lose in the playoffs is because they're now running into teams who are also really well built. I think that's why Mike Tomlin's here at number 6. So number 5, we have John Harbaugh. Now, John Harbaugh for the Baltimore Ravens is a very good head coach. And honestly, he's probably the best head coach to have the problem of losing in the playoffs. But I think with him, it's more similar to the previous two than Mike Tomlin. I think for John Harbaugh, especially in his Lamar Jackson era, he is very good at getting to the playoffs and is very dominant in the regular season. And that works out pretty well until they get to the playoffs, and then they find a way to lose. This past year, it was against Buffalo, but it's been like that for quite a few years. They'll get to the playoffs and then play down to their competition. Honestly, on roster construction, the roster's been great. They've been greatly coached, and during the regular season, it shows. But when the postseason hits, all bets are off. They're going down somehow. So at number 4, we have Dan Quinn. Now, Dan Quinn has done an amazing job with the Washington Commanders. I did not think in 2024 the Washington Commanders would be as well coached and as disciplined as they were. And they took all bets were off. They took it as far as they could go. They went to the NFC Championship game before they fell apart. And honestly, I think it's Dan Quinn that did that. Because if you look at the roster, okay, you have Jaden Daniels, who's a phenomenal rookie quarterback, but he's a rookie. He's not going to be all that great if he was shoved into the Bears. But here he is in the Dan Quinn-led team, and he's doing amazing. And the rest of that team was all players that were good 5 to 6 years ago. And they put it together, and they worked well together, and they went as far as their luck would take them. But I think that was more Dan Quinn than anything. I think he did such a good job coaching that he got him that far. And so number 3, we have Nick Sirianni. Now, Nick Sirianni, of course, he just won the Super Bowl. He's been to one prior, which he lost, but I think he is a very good head coach. Well, he also has a very good team. Now, with that being said, it's not that hard to coach when you have the most talented roster in the NFL. I think any other head coach on this list, with maybe the exception of 2, would love to have his roster. And I think he'd be very upset to have any of their rosters compared to what he has right now. The only coaches who are better than him are those who have equal or more success with the same amount of talent or less. So number 2, we have Sean McVay. Now, Sean McVay, he's amazing. He is the offensive genius, the youngest head coach hire in NFL history until recently, and he will be around for many years. He is very good with keeping his players happy, and that team mentality he brings makes players instantly better. You never hear about too much locker room drama with the Rams, and that's because Sean McVay has that kind of relationship with pretty much everyone. And that has shown in the success of the Los Angeles Rams since his hire. He's only had one losing season, and he's won a Super Bowl. He's been to 2, won 1, sort of. And at number 1, we have Andy Reid. Now, Andy Reid, what do you have to say about him? Well, what you could say about him is that he's easily the best coach currently in the NFL. Not the best of all time. That's Bill Belichick. But currently, he is the best coach in the National Football League. And you can see that by just his success. He was in Philly. He went to a Super Bowl in Philly, lost. But since then, he's won 3 Super Bowls and appeared in 5 with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's why he's the best currently in the NFL. With that being said, guys, please like, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you disagree with me. And I'll see you next time.